All right, what's up, Knicks fans? Welcome back. I gotta say, I've been a Knicks fan since 1990. I keep repeating this in almost every video I record about my Knicks. And I'm as excited for a season as I've been in a long time. And it's not just because the Knicks are opening up the NBA year before the other 28 teams in Abu Dhabi games against the Sixers. It's because this team right now has a real shot at winning the East. Yeah, I said it. A real shot at the East and maybe even the NBA title if everything go right. So let me break it down. We all remember last year's run to the Eastern Conference Finals. It was gritty, it was fun, and it was the closest we've been to the finals in over 2 damn decades. And the best part? The core of the team is still intact. We got Brunson, we got Bridges, OG, Hart, Towns. Those guys are still all here. The only big difference is we've got a new voice on the sideline in Mike Brown. And that might be exactly what this team needs. Now, let's start with the big question, the starting lineup. Last year, under Thibs, the starting five was Brunson, Bridges, OG, Hart, and Towns. But you could see it started to lose some juice by the end of the playoffs. Now, Thibs rode that lineup way too hard, in my opinion, until his back was against the wall at the end. Yet, I have to admit we didn't have many offensive options on the bench last year, so I can't knock him for that either. Now, under Mike Brown, things are more open, or at least they're supposed to be. We'll see. Does Robinson slide back in healthy at the 5 and push Towns to power forward? Might be a good idea. Imagine a starting 5 of Robinson, Towns, OG, Bridges, and Jalen Brunson. That would be pretty good. Now, does Miles McBride finally earn himself a legit starting role? No. Some people are asking that question, but no. That's not going to happen. McBride is a great off-the-bench addition, but not a starter in my opinion, at least at this time in his career. Maybe it'll change next year, 2 years, I don't know. But right now, I don't see him as a starter. Does Brown experiment with some curveballs with the starting lineup? Maybe even giving a newcomer like Yabusele a look. Yabusele is a solid player, guys, and I'm happy about adding him to the team. Now, here's also what I think, and I've been watching this team for decades. Of course, not with this roster, but I've been watching them. This year's Knicks are going to be fluid. The starting lineup won't be set in stone. I think it'll depend more on the matchup each night, and honestly, I think that's a pretty good thing. We need options, and we need other teams to not know what to expect. We need this team to be unexpected every night. You know, which lineup they're going to come in, how they're going to play, all that kind of stuff. And we need options, especially when you got guys like Robinson who've had injury concerns in the past. I hope this guy improved his free throw shooting in this offseason. I saw his videos, but I see his videos every offseason. He better have improved his free throw shooting because I don't want him to be an offensive liability again. I really want the best for the guy. I want him to be a great player on the Knicks. He's a great rebounder, great defensive player, but he's unusable on offense. Now, this team's depth is going to matter more than the actual starting 5. One of the reasons I'm excited is because we're finally moving away from Thibs ball. And don't get me wrong, Thibs brought toughness to the team, brought defense, brought structure, brought culture back a bit. But his offense was like watching cement dry, you know, slow pace, pound the glass, hope Brunson bails us out in the clutch at the end of a shot clock, almost every possession. Mike Brown is promising something new, a faster pace, more threes, more paint touches, moving the ball around a little bit. We'll see what happens. Now, he wants the Knicks putting up 40 or more threes a night. Can you imagine that? That's a huge shift for a team that's been grinding games in the mud for years. Now, I understand that's the kind of style NBA teams play these days. And just from hearing about it, I don't like it. Because it could potentially make the game boring with all those threes being taken. You know I'm not a fan of that. But if the Knicks would be winning, on the other hand, I guess I would be willing to look past that a bit. And here's the fun part. Brunson is going to be asked to shoot more catch-and-shoot threes. He's a great shooter. And I like this idea, but it raises a question. If Brunson is playing off the ball more, who's creating for him? Some guys even saying Towns, maybe Bridges, taking on more ball handling. That's going to be fascinating to watch if it happens during the preseason to see, if it works. I mean, they're going to be testing a couple of things, but because if it clicks, the offense could be dangerous. But I don't know, but I don't personally see Towns as a creator. McBride maybe a little bit more, but not so much either. Maybe someone else will step up, and we can see if that happens. Brogdon is one that I'm holding out hope for, but we'll see. For years under Thibs, no matter the matchup, the Knicks looked the same. Crash the boards, protect the paint, play physical. And hey, that identity gave us some great moments. But it also gave up way too many open threes. Now with Brown, we might finally see a new identity forming. I want the Knicks to stay tough and physical. That's the kind of Knicks I like. Brown hasn't revealed much about the defense yet, but I expect Robinson to anchor us again and for us to still dominate the offensive glass. Now, I want to see if he stays healthy and how many minutes he's going to play, because he averages like 27 minutes, maybe half the game, a little bit more. The big question is, what does he do with Towns defensively? Because let's be honest, Cat isn't exactly known for his rim protection. Now, if Brown can get him bought in and locked into a scheme, that's going to be huge. Towns is a very good player overall, but he was exposed during the playoffs while playing Indiana on the defensive end, in my opinion. And I mentioned that consistently when I was watching the game and live streaming with you guys. Now, let's not overlook this. The Knicks still have one more roster spot, as far as I know, to figure out. It's basically between Malcolm Brogdon and Landry Shamet. Now, two vets, two very different skill sets. Shamet gave us some solid playoff minutes last year. I can't complain. For a guy that hasn't played for a while, he stepped in and he put in some good minutes. While Brogdon, just 2 years removed from winning Sixth Man of the Year. But he brings real playmaking and scoring, but comes with injury history. Now, I give Brogdon an edge, and if he's actually ready and in shape, he might help out with moving the ball and giving JB a break on the offense. So that would be a positive. Now, the front office has to decide. Do they move a young guy like Tyler Kowick or Picome Dadier? I think that's how you say his last name, to make room for both, or stick with one. That's a huge decision because the 10th and 11th man on a title contender can sometimes swing a playoff series. Sometimes. It's a very important decision. Now, depth wins championships, and whoever gets that last spot could end up a difference maker come in spring. Shamet showed good minutes in playoffs, and I would keep him. Brogdon, I would say, also would be my choice over the two previously mentioned if he is bought in shape, and ready to go. This is something I've been thinking about a lot. Our young guys as well. Look at the Knicks. They have traded away most of their draft capital for proven players. That's fine. That's the price of being a contender, or at least trying to be one. But that means the guys we don't have, the Kowicks, the Dadiers, if they go, they have to develop. So if they're not on the roster, you got to develop them somehow, because at some point, injuries might hit the roster and we'll need them. Now, even if they're not ready this year, them taking steps forward matters for the long term. And the Knicks are capped out. This is our group. And young talent on the cheap contracts is the only way to stay competitive while paying big money to the stars. If they are not on the roster, keep them playing in the G League as much as possible. Now, here is where my fan heart kicks in. And I'll be honest, I don't say this every year. And I haven't said that last year. I haven't said that the year before. But I truly believe the Knicks team can win the East this year. I truly believe it. Even if it was a full Boston team and a full Indiana team without those injuries, with the Knicks making those acquisitions and getting stronger, I could still see that. And maybe, just maybe, they could even win the whole thing if everything goes perfectly right. Why? Depth. This team is deep this season. Defensively, they're strong. In my opinion, we'll see what happens, because what I see on paper has to translate to the court. And offensively, they're well balanced, like they haven't been in years. We've got clutch player of the year in Brunson, a guy who thrives when the lights are the brightest. And add to that new firepower. You got Yabusele, who brings toughness and shooting. Clarkson, who's instant offense off the bench. And Brogdon is a vet who can steady the ship. Now, that's a bench that can go toe-to-toe with anyone. If Robinson starts, we might also have Hart off the bench as well, because I don't see him going in a starting lineup in front of OG. That ain't happening. It's been a long time since I've looked at the Knicks roster and felt this confident. It's not just about making the playoffs anymore. It's about competing for banners. Literally. So Knicks fans, buckle up. This preseason might feel low stakes, but it's where we'll get our first glimpse at a new identity of the team, a new style, and hopefully the birth of a real contender. Now, after almost 35 years of being a fan, never switching, I've seen plenty of false dawns, but this one, it feels a little bit different right now. The Knicks have a true closer, Mr. Clutch, Jalen Brunson. They have the talent, the depth, the defense, and now maybe the offensive firepower to make real noise. And I can't wait to see it unfold. I'll see you guys during the season. Maybe I'll stream some games. You can join in and we can have a discussion and share our thoughts of what's going on and how the team is playing. So share your comments with me. Tell me what you guys think. There's going to be more videos on the Knicks now that the season is starting and my channel is growing. I want to put more Knick videos in there because I'm a true Knick fan and I want to talk about the team. I want to share my opinions. I want to discuss them with you and kind of build it out on that as well. So share your comments. Comment section is open. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.